Hello everyone, you are welcome to this class, and today we are going to be treating the second topic in JAMB biology. So in this lecture we will talk about the evolutionary trends of major organisms, evolutionary trend, and the transition from aquatic to terrestrial life, aquatic from water and terrestrial on land, advancement and history. And we follow the kingdom classification. We have the kingdom Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. So this thing that I just mentioned right now, they follow an evolutionary trend, which means that kingdom Protista is more developed than kingdom Monera. Kingdom Fungi is more developed than kingdom Protista. Plantae is more developed than fungi, and Animalia is the most developed. So now let's look at the evolutionary trend. So life developed from simple prokaryotic cell. So what are prokaryotic cells? These are cells that have no well-defined nucleus. Their nucleus are not well defined. Then to unicellular eukaryotes. In eukaryotes, their nucleus are defined. They have a well-defined nucleus to multicellular form, increasing structural complexity, tissue differentiation, organ system, and adaptation to the terrestrial environment. So now look at the evolution. We have kingdom Monera. All of them are prokaryotes. That is, they have no true nucleus. Then after kingdom Monera, we have the kingdom Protista. These are unicellular eukaryotes. They form the bridge between unicellular and multicellular organism. I hope you understand that well. Then we also have the fungi. Fungi are multicellular heterotroph. The meaning of heterotroph is that they depend on autotroph for their nutrition. They are not able to produce their own food by themselves, so they depend on autotroph for their nutrition. So we also have kingdom Plantae, which is a multicellular autotroph. So autotroph, they are able to manufacture their own food by themselves. And if you want to know more on nutrition, I have already made a video concerning nutrition. Find it in my YouTube channel and you will understand it properly. Then we now have kingdom Animalia. These are multicellular heterotroph. Heterotroph is that they are not able to manufacture their own food. So I will now be talking about the kingdom one by one, and please, I will just make a brief explanation. I will make a brief explanation. From this explanation, you will understand the basic of what I'm talking about. So kingdom Monera, they are prokaryotes. An example are bacteria and the blue-green algae. That's cyanobacteria. Bacteria and the blue-green algae. Now let's look at some of their key features. They are unicellular prokaryotic. You can see no true nucleus or membrane organelle. They have cell wall and they reproduce asexually by binary fission. So they are autotrophic or heterotrophic depending on the organisms. And they are the first life form. They are approximately 3.5 billion years old. Now we now move to Protista, the kingdom Protista. They are unicellular eukaryotes. Nucleus and organelles are present, and they move. They carry out locomotion. In amoeba, the organ of locomotion is pseudopodia. Euglena is flagella, and cilia in paramecium. Now they also have some mixed nutrition. In amoeba, it is heterotrophic. That means they depend on autotroph for their food. Euglena is autotrophic, that it can manufacture its own food. That's because Euglena has chloroplast. And then we also have menstrophic. This means that they are able to carry out both heterotrophic nutrition and autotrophic nutrition. Example is the glanna, that they are able to carry out both of them together, and they are more complex than the kingdom Monera. Now let's now look at the fungi. Let's look at the fungi. Example of fungi is the mushroom and rhizopus. So they are unicellular, except yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, heterotrophic, and instead of cellulose cell wall, their cell wall is made up of chitin. Their cell wall is made up of chitin instead of a cellulose cell wall, and their body is made up of mycelium. So that's why in some textbook, instead of kingdom fungi, you will see them as kingdom mycete. That's because they produce mycelium. That's an hyphae network, and they are more complex than the protista. And also, they are saprophytes. The meaning of saprophytes is that they depend on dead decaying organic material for their nutrition. That's why if you look at most mushroom, you will see them on dead trees, decaying plants, on dead organic material. So that is how fungi develop their nutrition, and their life history. They exhibit alternation of generation and reproduce by spores. I hope you understand that one. Then we also have the kingdom Plantae. These are the plants. They evolved from algae, and they have some major group. You have the Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, and Spermatophyta. So that the video will not be too long, so you can just look at some of the characteristic of each from Thallophyta to Bryophyta. Now let's look at the Pteridophyta. They are vascular plant. Pteridophyta is the first appearance of vascular plant. So they are vascular plant. That means they have specialized organ of movement. That's the xylem and the phloem. If you want to know the function of the xylem and the phloem very well, I have made a video concerning that, the internal structure of flowering plants. You can check that video. So they have true root, stem, and leaf. They are dominant sporophytes, and they need water for their swimming sperm. Now the most advanced part of the kingdom Plantae is the Spermatophyta, and from the word sperma, these are seed-bearing plants. They are seed-bearing plants, and they are now divided into two. We have the angiosperm and the gymnosperm. The angiosperm and the gymnosperm. So you can look at the characteristic of angiosperm and gymnosperm. So you can look at it, and if you want this PDF, you can ask me. I will send it to you. So now they also have a classification. We have the annual plant. That means they complete their life cycle within one growing season. And we have the biennial plant. They complete their life cycle within two growing seasons. They use the first season to develop floral part, and they use the second season to grow. So perennial, they complete their life cycle for many years. So now kingdom Animalia, that's the most complex, and they are divided into two. We have the vertebrate and invertebrate. Vertebrate and invertebrate. So under the invertebrate, we have the following phylum: Cnidaria, the phylum Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca. So you can look at this. You can pause the video and just read it. Just read it. Then under the vertebrae, we have the Pisces, the amphibian, reptilia, aves, and mammalia. You just is self-explanatory already. Just read it. And we have trend. We have radial symmetry and bilateral symmetry. Let me quickly explain symmetry. In radial symmetry, it means that if you cut the organism from every side and for any part, it will still be in equal half. but in bilateral it must cut it from the middle, a bilateral symmetry. So we have warm-blooded, cold-blooded. Cold-blooded, they are not able to regulate their body temperature, so they are called the poikilothermic organism, while the warm-blooded, they are able to regulate their body temperature. Now let's quickly answer some of these simple questions. So which of the following group represent the most primitive organism? That's the kingdom Monera. These are the prokaryotes, the kingdom Monera. So the presence of true and membrane brown organelle is first seen in which group? That's the kingdom Protista. They are unicellular eukaryotes, and eukaryotes, they have a well-defined nucleus. Then let's look at this. Number 3, which of the following is not the characteristic features of rhizopods? The answer is C. Fungi do not have chlorophyll. They are not able to manufacture their own food by themselves. And number 4, the gradual transition from aquatic to terrestrial animal and from aquatic to terrestrial life in plant is best described by bryophyta to pteridophyta. Now look at number 5. Which group of plant has vascular tissue but still require water for fertilization? That is pteridophyta. The dominant generation in most is bryophyte. So we have the two generations, the sporophyte and the gametophyte. So the answer is sporophyte. They reproduce by spore. Bryophyta, and that's one of their major reproductive organisms. Now look at this, number 7. So the increasing structural complexity. You don't even need to stress yourself. The answer to this one is A. Spiragira is Talophyta. This Pinus is gymnosperm under the phylum Spermatophyta. So that's the answer. So the first group of plants to produce seed they are the gymnosperm under Spermatophyta, the gymnosperm. They have what we call a naked seed. So you can check it in that previous video. Now number 9. Which of the following is most responsible for the complete independence of? The answer is vascular tissues. Now, double fertilization is a unique feature of angiosperm. So which of the following invertebrates show the first appearance of a true coelom? First appearance of true coelom, that is the phylum Annelida. Now 12. The body of Hydra belongs to which level of organization? The tissue level. You can check it in the previous video. So now let's just look at this question. They are very simple questions, and I have answered some of them for us. So you just reading those lecture notes, you should be able to solve all this. Very simple. So now let us call it a day for now. Please read the materials again and make sure you are reading for your JAMB. I wish you a wonderful day. Bye bye.